Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Today we're gonna have our professional cinematographer, Adil. He's gonna talk about all the videos that he has done in Nautilus and the experience and everything. So please feel free to ask any questions. Let's see, where is Adil? Yes. Hello, Adil.
Hey, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
afternoon.
Can
Whatever
you
it is
hear
for
me?
you. I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It looks like you're in the jungle or something like that.
A little bit. It's an Airbnb place that we manage, and it's a very green, jungly area. So I picked this place because it's a very nice environment to be talking to you. Thanks for the
Yeah.
invitation, by the way.
No, thank you for being here. Gonna be a really nice interview. Um, so do you want me to play? Should we play the video now so people have kind of an idea of what you do?
Whatever you have planned, just follow
Yeah.
your lead. You do whatever you want to do.
Okay. Wait a minute. Huh. I don't know what's going on.
You're in the office?
Yeah. So the video's on my phone, and it's weird because when I try to find it, it's not there anymore. Like when I try to find it from the Instagram, so that has never happened before. Today is full of surprises, I think. Yeah. So it's should be to. Yeah, no, it doesn't let me play the video. I think it's maybe the format is too heavy. Don't know why. Eh? Yeah, I have a plan B. It's not the best one. This never happened before. I can put it on my computer.
Yeah, that sounds like my life. That never happened before. It's a lot.
Wait, let me see.
Okay.
Let me know. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of recognize that
It,
image. So
it kind of looks
that's good
better
enough, I think.
than it looks better that if I play it on the Instagram, because then you don't have me. If I play it on the
Yeah,
Instagram, yeah. So should we do it?
yeah, do it. Whatever. It is what it is. Memories. Lots of memories I see and I feel. Have you seen humpback whales before underwater? Can hear you.
Are
Dry
you
my
crying?
tears. Yeah.
Wow.
Not now, but back then when I filmed this, uh, I think I was close or I did cry for a second in the water. So I picked to I asked you to play that video because it was one of the highlights of my professional life so far, uh, emotionally speaking, especially. So
Wow.
it was a very special time back then. Have you seen humpback whales underwater before?
Yeah, I've seen them, but
Yeah.
not here, not in Mexico. I've seen them
Ah,
in Tonga, but what you
right on.
film, I'm a filmmaker as well, and I have never been able to film something like that. So it's amazing. You're an amazing filmmaker, and I think you what you did there is just you portrayed the emotions, like you can see of the emotions between the interaction of the mom and the cub. So it's an amazing video.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So that was in Socorro, right?
That was 2015. That video, yeah, in late January when we came across that mama humpback whale and her baby. Was with a different company back then. I worked with a different operator, not with Nautilus. And yeah, we met that mother, and we knew her from 2 years earlier. We met the same animal, 2013, and she behaved exactly the same way. Of course, having a different baby with her, a different calf, and we spent in 2013. We spent 6 weeks with her at Rocco Partida and unlimited time underwater. So when we saw her again in 2015 and we could identify her immediately from the surface because she has a very distinct marking on her hump. Everybody on board freaked out because we kind of knew that there was amazing time waiting for us again, and so it happened. So we spent one day where I got some of those shots, and the next day, probably many people heard of that story. Two orcas came in and they decided they wanted to end our encounter with these mama and baby, and they just killed the baby in front of our eyes. So that was the end of that. It was extremely emotional, and in all respect, unforgettable for the good and
Yeah.
for the bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So would you say how many times have you seen whales in Socorro? Like under the water?
quite often, I mean, like this, when seeing them like this, like them being all stationary and calm, there was three three times. 2011, right when I started working at Sakura, was my first or second trip, and I thought, whoa, 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 is this how it's going to be like here when I go diving into Sakura? It was undescribable for me seeing that for the first time because I've never seen big animals like that before, and I just started working at the Socorros, and I remember it like it was yesterday that my hands were trembling and I almost couldn't film that animal because I wasn't scared or but just anxious and excited and all at once. And so that was the first time. And then 2013 we saw that mama again for 6 weeks. 2015 the same mama with a different baby. And in between there were encounters with whales, not as intense but shorter, let's say. But I would say there was a very common sight back then to see humpback whales, more than it is in the recent years, due to one that there is less whales at the moment. We don't really know why, but there is less whales in the whale season, and B, that there are new rules in place, as you know, that we cannot really try to get in the water with them as we would like to. So But there are
Okay.
whales out there, definitely. If someone wants to see whales, it's a good place to go, potentially while you're on scuba.
So, do you always film Socorro, Guadalupe, or you film somewhere else in the world?
Well, that's let's say my bread and butter is this, where what I survive on, and then I have different gigs on the side, like freelance jobs when I go abroad. Can be for TV or can be for other liveaboard operators. They want to have promotional videos and such. So this is then my vacation from work. Let's say my workation is when I go abroad and
Yeah.
have different jobs similar. But yeah, I appreciate those as well. But I would never want to fully leave the code. This is where my heart is and where I belong to.
Wow. Well, so for those that haven't been to Socorro, like, explain what is that drags you to Socorro.
Well, it's very simple. I mean, people who have been, they know, and people who haven't been, and we try to explain what's the difference from Sakura to other places where you can potentially or likely see big animals, is that you do not only see the big animals, but you interact and connect with them, especially with the mantas and the dolphins. And this is something I have not seen anywhere on the planet. Maybe it happens sometimes, but Sakura is, don't want to say guarantee, but it's just, as you know, it's consistent. And once you experience that, it becomes an addiction, and it never lets you go, which is also the reason probably why I'm still looking forward to go to work every time I get in an airplane and go to work. And it's just never boring because of that. Because you don't only look at the stuff, but they include you in their lives for the time that they want to spend with you. And that's absolutely exceptional.
Wow. I think we're having some problems with the audio, so I'm gonna try to put my headphones and see if that makes it better. But I
All right.
can, there's like,
I hear you still. Yeah, I hear you very well. Very well.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I read someone said there's echo.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know if
if
it's from
you
my
guys
side.
if you guys can hear us or something, just write it down and we'll try to fix it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So how long have you been working for Nautilus?
3 years. Started
3 years.
2017. Yeah. Pretty much
Oh,
3 years.
yeah.
Back in
And
time.
what are the challenges that you get when you're filming in a place like Sakura? Like, I know there's currents, and I don't know if that would make it a challenge, or how deep it is, or is it an easy way? Is it an easy place to film?
Mm, maybe not for everyone. For coral is, let's say there's easier places to film, definitely. The coral, since it is big animals that move a lot, which means if you want to get close to them, ideally you also move a lot. Well, ideally, you are in a place where the animals come to you, but that doesn't always happen. So you have to cheat a little bit sometimes to get the good shots to get yourself into position. So you have to be physically very fit, I would say. You have to be able to read the animals well to understand whether they want to be approached or they want to be left alone. Um, yeah, possessing those two qualities, I think it's fairly easy to get good photos or pictures of the animals, I would say.
Yeah. When you go to Socorro, do you have something in mind? Like, do you go with a project, or you just go and shoot whatever comes along, and then you develop the story?
That changes a lot. When I started with the Nautilus, we kind of agreed on me putting out one trip. We called it Odyssey videos after every trip, which highlighted the best of moments of the trip and mix them together with interviews from the clients and other shot areas and stuff. And after a while, we dropped that and we tried to develop different ideas and perspectives. and then we dropped that again, and we came up with a different strategy again. So it's a very dynamic process. I think I see that this is life in general with working with Nautilus and with Mike. Things can change very quickly, and you gotta adapt to them and try to find a new approach to your work. And right now, what we are doing, yeah, basically, I discussed with the office what they would like to highlight of the operation. Can be physical items of the boat or of the operation, or certain aspects of the service, or animal behavior. Could be anything really, but usually I have more time not to put together a piece. Sometimes 3 trips, usually 2 trips, just to gather all the shots that's needed for that, because it doesn't always happen as I would like to.
Jen says, congratulations on winning so many awards for the Manta Listener.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah,
So
going pretty well
how
for that.
many awards?
I don't know. I think it's right now five or so. But I entered to quite a bit more. But I don't really follow when is the announcement of the winners and stuff. So I just get the surprise emails sometimes in my inbox that says congratulations, you won the semi-finals, or you won, or stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very happy that this little film is drawing recognition. It's not really about me filming. It's more about the story that's behind, which is Manta, Tiago's story, one of our dive masters, showing what is possible to achieve in terms of interacting with these animals, and maybe have a different focus in life other than our everyday modern life. We are very much, yeah, I can put it. I want to say addicted to, but just very dominant for every one of us. So it's good sometimes to get away from that and get a totally different perspective and feeling for life.
Well, yeah. Besides the one that we just watched, the one with the mom, which would say that is other of your favorite encounters that you have got to film?
In Sakura or in general?
In Sakura. Let's talk about Sakura.
Yeah. Probably nothing could be such a whale encounter ever, especially when you're this close, like we were, or like I was at times. Sometimes 1 or 2 meters away from the parking mom. But the second most favorite moment that we have is or that I have, what in my opinion is the same for many other people, is the encounters with the extremely playful dolphins. Sometimes, as you probably know, we don't want to touch them or anything, but sometimes they touch us. So literally, they put their head on your chest, and this is something that's just mind blowing when you witness something like that, and an animal forcing its body, let's say, onto yours, and want to establish body contact with you, and in the wilderness. I still scream every time that happens, and so do many other people that in that very moment they lose it. They totally lose control of their surroundings. They may go deep, they may shoot up. So we also, not me, but the dive masters, for them it's a very difficult moment, because then they have to be high alert to really catch those people, sometimes going down or going up, because it's such an emotional moment, which can totally go again. So that's my favorite time, I think, when I see dolphins, especially when they're that extremely playful.
Well, yeah. I haven't had the dolphin encounter, so I'm hoping this on the 8th of July, Socorro is open and I have that amazing dolphin encounters, because from your videos it looks amazing. So guys, if you haven't seen like the video that Adil was talking about, the Manta Listener, I think it's in our Instagram. So go and watch it after this live, so you kind of have an idea of what you are missing and not going to Socorro. And yeah. So would you say you still get really excited after like 3 years of going to Socorro? You're still getting excited after a few like mountain encounters, dolphin encounters. It's still the same emotion from the first time?
No, it's not the same. Definitely not. I mean, whatever you do in life for the first time is the first time and will always be. But it doesn't mean that it has to be boring afterwards.
Yeah.
And if it's not boring, then perhaps it also depends a little bit on you and how you, on your perspective on life in general and things and so on. So I definitely love going to work every time I go. If it wasn't for, I think she's listening, my girlfriend, so I have to say something nice. If it wasn't for my girlfriend and the animals at home, I would probably prefer being out there as long as I can and not go back to the other world. You know,
Mm.
it's that good. That's what I'm saying. Also, the camaraderie between the crew and the whole atmosphere on the boat. This is where, for me at least, most of my social life takes place. Where my friends are like-minded people. It's just a pleasure to be there. It doesn't feel like work ever, except sometimes long hours on the computers editing. That can be a little bit, well, too much sometimes. But the time in the water, I would not want to have it any.
We have a question. What kind of animals do you like to film at Socorro? I guess it means what's your favorite animal to film?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said before, I love them all of them. I mean, I could go on about this forever and bore you guys to death about the animals. Here's some music here.
I think we lost you.
Hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you, but we lost you for a few minutes.
Oh, Alexa.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I'm back. I just had to kill
Okay.
an application. So it's the dolphin definitely for me. I love them all, but the dolphins when they're playful, number one.
Uh, um, think- you have a video of doing free diving in Socorro, right? I think it's one thing that we don't talk about that much, and everyone that goes to Socorro, they think they have to be a diver, but there's this other side of the free diving aspect of Socorro, right?
Well,
Mhm.
Um, there's free diving happening at the course. It's just not on a regular basis, not a known place for free diving. Let's say there's no really logistics in place that we could offer to the people, and we tell them we are knowing exactly what we are doing because it's still in an exploration phase, I would say. So last year we tried to promote that a little bit more, and I suggest to have a freediver on board, a professional one. Julian from Playa Carmen, he's a really good freediver, and we got some really cool shots with him, highlighting the potential of that. And my opinion is that this should be more looked into, to establish perhaps the Sakura Islands as one of the hotspots on the planet for freediving, because the encounters that you can have without a tank, um, mind blowing. Obviously, whoever has done freediving in his or her life, they know that how it feels like to be underwater, just hovering without the tank, without noise, and how close you can get to the animals. It's just a totally different experience. Having said that, it poses a lot of challenges to establish a freediving operation. Julian and I talked about this. Logistics would need to be adapted for that. The whole boat operation probably. I don't really see it happening much with other divers around who are on scuba because they just interfere with each other a little bit. So maybe in the future, if Mike want to give it a try, or the whole company, maybe at some point we can try to launch a boat just dedicated to that. I mean, there's a ton of freedivers on the planet, and I'm sure 100% that there's an industry for that. Freediving gets to coral islands. Just needs to be done, needs to be done safely, and then bring it on and then just do it. Would be a blast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've seen a few of the freediving videos in Socorro, but mostly from like really uh, professional people. But it just looks amazing, and I guess it's just the silent, no bubbles, the animals. Well, I guess the mantas, they say like the mantas, they come to you because of the bubbles. So I don't know if you're a freediver, maybe they don't come that close. Who knows, right? But yeah, it could be a good experience to try to do free diving in Socorro as well.
Yeah, we have sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a question. What other filmmakers inspire you?
I don't want to put a name to that because I don't really watch a lot of TV and know a lot of other names. But I think if you want to get inspired by ways to shoot, techniques, also editing wise, then the best there is the BBC. All of their series is as good as it gets, in my opinion, in every aspect. So whenever I want to get some inspiration or something like that, then BBC is the way to go. But of course, there's a ton of other good filmmakers on the planet, like Florian before. He has done quite a revolution for underwater filmmaking, and you can learn a lot from everyone, even from people who may have less experience from you. If you're willing to look and willing to learn from others, I mean, we never stop learning. I never stop learning. I learn something new every day. But I wouldn't be able to really put a name on one person that I say I follow or my idol or something like that.
Okay. We have a question. Who's your favorite shark in Guadalupe?
Come on, that's not a fair question. They're all my favorites. But maybe I do have one favorite, and that is the Hammerhead Shark. The especially schooling Hammerhead Shark, because they're so weird to begin with, and you see them in these big numbers. And also, kind of, it's an achievement if you ever make it into the midst of a big hammerhead school, let's say 50 or 100 animals. If you make it into the midst of them, then you must have done something right because they're very, very shy. So it's kind of an honor to be in between them for as long as it lasts. So that's a really cool animal to see from up close, the hammerhead shark.
Yeah.
But I love them all, don't forget.
Another question. Besides the whale film, what's your best experience filming in Socorro?
What also was very emotional, very different though, was filming in bait balls. We did that a lot a couple of years back. There was a lot of bait ball action going on, and that's just extremely wild. And you don't know what's going to happen. You think you're safe, and you're probably safe, but you never know. The dynamic can change at any time, and you got to be ready to run out of the water if you have to. But the feeling is quite unique to be, let's say, 10 meters away from a ball of fish and 100 predators are attacking, a lot of sharks among them. Yeah, and filming that and being there and feeling the adrenaline and the power that's in the water, that's quite something. Can recommend it, but again, you got to be ready to run to the panga if you have to.
When did you start filmmaking? How did everything start?
I was a scuba instructor at first. Made my IDC in Thailand 2003. While I did that, I saw videographers running around on the boats there, and I thought, quite cool what they're doing. They don't have any responsibility. They are free. They can go wherever they want. They don't have to talk to people all the time. They're like a free bird. So I thought that's something I want to look into. And then yeah, I started with underwater filming 2004 myself in the Dominican Republic. Founded my own company right away, and without knowing anything about it, without studying, I don't think I even have taken pictures before that. So I'm not coming from the photography side of things. That's what I'm saying here. I was just a diver, but I was very intrigued by that what the videographers were doing there. So that's when I started, 2003, 2004, around Dominican Republic, and from there I moved around the world filming and living off that. Try to survive from that because money wasn't always there. So I was filming courses and stuff and edit the video first, then show it later to the people and hoping for them to buy it, right? Sometimes I ate and sometimes I didn't eat. So that lasted for many years, but you learn a lot in that time, and I wouldn't want to miss those times, although they weren't always easy. But everything changed once I got to Mexico and onto liveaboards, because it's a whole different level, a whole different world, and it got better. Yeah, better, much better, even better.
We actually have the question of what did you study to be such a good filmmaker?
I didn't study much. I partied a lot when I was younger. So there wasn't much studying, and then at some point I was tired of Germany. I decided to leave. Started as a pizza baker first, eating pizza for half a year, and then I went into the diving industry, starting as a dive master first, and from there it was like I told you, just learning by doing myself. With crappy videos in the beginning, horrible. Unfortunately, I didn't have a mentor, or YouTube wasn't that big back then, so there wasn't a lot of material out there that I could learn. I mean, today probably people learn 5 times as fast as I did, which is a little bit the only thing that, not that I regret, but that could have been better, let's say. I do not think that you need to study anything to become an underwater filmmaker. You need qualities, but you don't necessarily obtain them from going to school or studying. It would probably help a lot if you have a filmmaker or photography background to better understand what the camera does or what you're supposed to do with it, but it's not unnecessary.
We have a question, and yeah, I want to know this too. You're in the right place in the right time so often. How?
That's probably simple answer to that is probably experience. I've been there almost 10 years now, Sakura. And then if you whatever you do for 10 years, you know how is it going to be, what's going to happen for the most part, and it's the same is true for the Sakura Islands. I know the animals very well, so I can anticipate a lot where they're going, where they're not going. I'm not always right, but many times I'm right. And yeah, just anticipate as fast as possible and go from A to B as fast as I can, move my ass, and be there before the animal appears. And this is the key to everything, practically. While at the same time trying not to piss off any divers, get in front of them. You know, it's always a tricky part, or especially in the beginning when I started. There was a couple of times when there were complaints coming in. I didn't get a lot because you learn pretty quickly that you can't do that again, because then you'll probably be taken off the boat, because the client, of course, has the first right to see the animal and to interact. So you got to work around the clients a lot and find the hidden corner somewhere where nobody sees you, but get the same shot at the time. Always walking very close to the red line and try not to overstep it. Make everybody happy, the clients, myself, the company, and yeah, I kind of developed a good way for that in 10 years of work, I think. That is for the Sakura Islands. If I go somewhere else, it's a totally different story. I have to start from scratch, probably, like most people.
So you said you've been doing this for 10 years, but did you mention you were only with Sakura for three years? So three years with Nautilus?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, but you've been in Socorro for 10 years.
Almost, yeah. 9 years, I think. I started 9 years ago with a.
Were you working as a dive master before in Socorro, or were you always a filmmaker?
No, I worked with a different company, and I started straight away as the videographer on board, which at the time was a job that didn't exist. We kind of created it. It was not easy at all. I remember that. I was knocking on everyone's door. There was only 3 companies back then, and I hammered on everyone's door. Let me in. Let me in. I want to work here. And nobody wanted to welcome me on board. It was a very difficult start. And I couldn't really understand why that was, because to my mind it made perfect sense to have a video person or an imaging person in general on board to elevate the quality of the online presence and advertisement and such. But in the end, one boat opened its door for me. Back then it was a Nautilus, unfortunately. But that was my way. I started with a different company, and I stayed with them 6 years. And I was tired, took a year off. I thought I was done with the boat, until I found out that I wasn't done with the boats. I was done with this world, with the human world, because there's not really much that I like about it. So I'm most happy when I'm in the ocean with the animals. That's what I found out in that 1 year where I wasn't working really on the boats. And then Mike luckily invited me to join his team. Here I am.
We have another question. Where are you from?
Yeah. I'm German.
German. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a question from Nubia. How did you start the underwater films? What made you do it?
I know why Nubia asked a question, because she wants to have me say, "Hi, Nubia," which I will do now. Hi, Nubia. And hi, Savine. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I explained already. I started filming because I wanted to do something else than teaching people how to clear their mask, which was pretty repetitive, pretty boring already after 1 or 2 years. So I was dive master before that. I started 2001 with working in diving. So I didn't see my future in repeatedly showing people how to clear their mask. I wanted to do something more creative, and that's why I picked up a camera.
We have a question from Camila. Do you remember a particular underwater moment you will consider life-changing?
I know a person that's also called Camilla. Maybe it's her, or maybe she wants to point a finger to something. I'm not sure. Maybe she can give me a hint, because other than that, I wouldn't want to say, or maybe I forgot. Then it wouldn't be a very life-changing moment, would it?
Mm-hmm.
There were so many great moments, and Sakura, it's hard to have them all lined up in my brain. Camilla maybe can give me a hint. Maybe I can say, yes, that was the moment. No, I wouldn't be able to say that was the life-changing moment.
Would you say, what about the first time you went to Socorro? Would that have been the life-changing moment that made you stay in Socorro?
Yeah, I remember that. First trip still, as it was yesterday, was also with a different company. Another one again, the third one. I went out first as a dive master with them for one trip. And when I arrived at Roca Partida, it was in the very early morning hours, around 5, 6, or 7, and there was a full moon right in between the two peaks of the rock. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was such an epic view, just arriving to that place. And it made everything else look ridiculous in comparison to what I've seen before. And once I jumped at Roca Partida and saw all the sharks, I mean, I've done a lot of diving before that, but like I said, everything else just pales absolutely in comparison. If you do a normal, let's say, person's diving life, the normal land-based tours and trips, you cannot compare. It's a totally different game, and it did blow my mind, and it will blow everyone's mind who goes out there and sees it for the first time. just wilderness, it's open ocean, it's big animals, it's currents, it's a little taste of danger always, or at least you think it's dangerous, or it could be potentially. Of course, the operation does everything it can to keep it within safe boundaries, and it is safe. But you cannot do stupid things out there because then you get punished.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a very exciting experience to have.
Yeah. Tell us a bit, like for those that are here and are a bit of filmmakers, so maybe they want to start doing some film. What's your equipment? Like, what do you need to be underwater filmmaker?
I mean, nowadays everyone is shooting with DSLRs, which has become the way. When I started, it was still camcorder time and mini DV tapes and stuff, which was good as well at the time. I don't think you need a special camera for becoming a filmmaker, at least not in the beginning, let's say, entry level. When you learn later, if you want to go professional, or if you can go professional, let's say, you will have to consider that as well. You have to invest a little bit more money. But what you need is a camera, and what's more needed is a creative mind. I think creative mind, agility in the water, determination to stay in the game. Maybe in the beginning, if you start and you don't make enough money, or you don't make money right away, because it's not easy to make money, to make a living with that.
I think we lost him. Um, see a few more questions. Let's wait a little bit and see if he comes back soon. Mm. Last questions, because Instagram is gonna close. So let's just finish these questions, okay? From Marty, if you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the world to film a particular animal, what would it be? Where and why?
I would probably want to shoot orcas next in Norway. I think that's a pretty cool place to go. Seen some images there and BBC stuff, and it would be probably one of the most exciting things I've done, or maybe the most exciting thing for sure. But that's something I would suffer for.
And then we have, should we do last question from the Beacons Collective? At Guadalupe, do you have a favorite shark that has a name, like maybe Thor or Sad Face or Jet?
Well, the Beacons Collective knows my favorite shark in Guadalupe. It's Lucy. It's the same like his. Sean. God bless Lucy. She's just the best. Hope to see her this year. And hope to see you there too.
Have you filmed Lucy?
Yeah, filmed there a lot.
Yeah.
She's the best shark to film by far. Comes in close, and she's the calmest and slowest and most. So Lucy is the best. She's a queen.
Wow. Hopefully you see her this year.
All right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Adil. Thank you for everything. And everyone, if you guys haven't seen Adil videos, please go to Nautilus Instagrams or Adil Instagram. I think you have a few of your videos there. And just check them out.
Yeah, okay. Pleasure. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Miss you guys. See you soon on the boat.
Bye.
Thanks, Alexa. Bye.